Hey, everybody, and welcome to a really hype moment as we are gonna go over all the groups and all the other stuff set up for WARNO League Season 1. As it's finally time, WARNO finally has launched. We finally have a game at hand here that is fully fleshed out, and that also has a lot of players. And we have 64 players here in WARNO League Season 1. As per usual in the league format on SDL, we have it split into 4 different skill levels out of 16 players each, which basically means that they play a 16-player tournament with a group stage and a playoff stage. Top players get promoted next seasons. Lower end players in each group get demoted next season. So we have a bit of a football league going on. And yeah, this 4-division system. We had 2 divisions in the first league. In the pre season 0 and season 0.5 we had 3. Now we have 4. The 4 is what we plan to build around in the future as well, and it should stay this way. We have newer players being faced in Division 4, and yep, let's have a look on the groups, starting with Division 4, where we have a lot of new faces. That's great to see, and we also have a good split between new players from around the world, as we have in Group A, Madred and Beowulf as our Australian combatants here in this group. Tonoman and Vandalt both being in Europe, so mixed group here with players from Australia and Europe. Then a completely European group here with Rizzy McG, Susping, William VZ, and The Stealth. And then Colby's Valjay 79th, Rumbling Loki, and Shiggy in Group C here in Division 4. So a lot of new players here. Group D, half American, half European. I didn't have many West Coast Americans in this, so otherwise I would have put the Australians together with those, but it's a lot of East Coast Australians, so putting them together with some Europeans, I think it makes more sense, with this one being half European, half American, but East Coast Americans, so it should be doable to find timings to play here as well. And yep, the groups all in my full of players that are mostly new. Tonoman has played last season but hasn't played much WARNO. William relatively active, but hasn't played any in any of the tournaments really yet. Rumbling Loki we had in Steel Division events before as well. Shiggy completely new to competitive play. Jacob just played in the Super Tournament, did decently there, but still Division 4 here, and a lot of hype in this group. Like, I think so far text-wise, this Division 4 might have been the most active. All these players are really motivated to play, so this should be a really fun one. Obviously in Division 4, there's always a bit of disparity because we don't quite know how good these new players are. There will for sure be some that will be maybe a bit higher than the others in the skill level, but it's also a lot about practice throughout the seasons. Like in Division 4, the coolest thing is always to see compare the games played at the beginning and the games played in the end and see how much the players improved. So I'm really happy to look forward to see all these players play, and I think the groups all should work out quite decently as well for finding games. So yeah, favorite wise, hard to say, as there's so many new ones. I think Jacob is really motivated, so, and if he keeps it up through the whole season, I think Jacob has a good chance. Outside of that, I just don't know these players well enough, but that's the fun part about Division 4, always. The dark horses are numerous in this one. Let's move on to Division 3, where we have a lot more known names already, though all with not that much success in tournaments. That's why they're here. But CHR Propaganda in Group A here, American group in this time around, Eclipse, Princess Evelyn, Edby, all have played in tournaments before. And I think this will be an interesting group. Princess Evelyn has been playing more actively lately again. CHR will have to come back. Was quite active last season, but had to move IRL and stuff, so hopefully finds the time to practice now that Leagues is around the corner. Eclipse, also someone that has been a lot more active lately again, and I think the favorite in this group, but though I wouldn't underestimate Edby there as well. Group B being a European one with Lizek, 1A, B1, 7 McTavish, the Mangolds. Lizek, obviously, active player in Steel Division 2 for a long time in the leagues, so has a lot of Eugen games under his belt, but in WARNO, decent success on the ladder, but in tournaments so far not great. So let's see how it goes here in Group B. 7 McTavish played in the Super Tournament as well. The Mangolds pretty new here. 1A, B1, new player as well from East Asia. Should be interesting how well they will do. Group C here, another European group with Yasp, a veteran of a lot of tournaments as well. Baghdadi has played a lot of Wargame Dragons events in the past, I believe. Also played a good couple of WARNO events by now, with mixed success there as well. Same goes for Ugly. It's hard to find any favorites here because these players, whilst they might not be able to beat Division 1 players reliably, they all for sure have good win rates on the ladder. Like, they're all above 50% win rate there, and they all can beat each other up as well. So so far, I think this will be a really interesting division as well. Group D, a strong one as well. Chesk, Captain Cactus, Farid, and Zoba Kaduka here coming in. All pretty well-known players in the community as well. Chesk and Farid, obviously, aka Farid Rommel, well-known players in the community. Farid has been really active in the past in Steel Division events, still running some of them on the channel as well. In WARNO, not so well versed yet. Hopefully can step it up here though, as get the SD2 experience does carry over somewhat, but you will have to relearn some things, and we'll see how that goes through the season. Captain Cactus really active over the last couple of weeks. I think might be the favorite in the group here, though Chesk with some good games in the past as well. So that is an interesting group as well, especially as we with Soba Kaduka have a completely dark horse, at least for me, in this group as well. So Group D, a really interesting one as well. And yeah, it's hard to say who is the favorite here. Chat, what do you think? Who will have this? I think Lizek might have a good chance. I feel like Captain Cactus might go pretty deep as well, and then Eclipse. Like, those would be my top 3 here. Though it's pretty hard to say, as there's just really a lot of similarly skilled levels from the outside here in this one. Washed Cactus. Okay. Chess coming in hot there. We'll see. Yeah. I think Farid will have to step it up a bit to hold out here in Group D. Chess and Captain Cactus there in my slightly favored, but if Farid brings into practice, that might change quickly. We have seen a lot from the Foxes in the past when it comes to good strategizing. So if the Foxes can find some strategies for WARNO as well, they might be quite scary. Yeah, so Eclipse, I think, is really strong here in Group A. The others can hold their own ground for sure as well, but I feel like Eclipse might be the favorite here in Group A, so really looking forward to that as well. And yeah, Division 3 for sure will have a lot of interesting games, and as all the divisions, this one another one that doesn't have really clear favorites, and that's what I love about the league, because the skill levels are somewhat of a level playing field at the beginning of the season. It's developing interesting storylines every single time. Division 2, we start now to get into the area where a lot of known players are in, and Group A already has a couple of them. Golden Panzer with some decent successes in past leagues, and also decent successes in past tournaments in general. Babelgun, really strong on the ladder. Perseus quite high up there as well. And then Static, obviously, with strong letter shows as well, and also strong chat shows as well. Always there to say to bring hot takes into the community. Now it's time for Static to show that all those hot takes actually have a basis. Will be interesting to see how that goes in Group A, with Group A being the more Eastern time zone centered players, Golden Panzer being in Pakistan, and so on. Like all these players, bit further east. This one here being a European group around Joker, Proletary, Blitzwar, and Medinator. Joker and Proletary pretty high on the ladder. Obviously, Joker always up and downs as well in the past, but pretty strong in general. Proletary really solid throughout the seasons as well. Blitzwar, a lot of wargame experience, YouTube channel as well out there, and Medi, really strong shows in some of the past tournaments, and hasn't played super much lately, and always in there for some fancy strategies. So we'll see if how much behind the line action we will have with Medi this time around. And yeah, Proletary and Joker here, quite strong opponents though. So like, I think this group will be really tough to get out of. Blitzwar lately not with the strongest shows. Super Tournament lost in round 1, so we haven't seen super much of Blitzwar, but obviously a lot of games in Wargame Dragon, a lot of games in WARNO as well, and some interesting victories in the past here too. So we'll see how that Group B develops. Then Group C, we have Aimdoozy, Jig, AbleT, and Sheesh. With Sheesh my favorite being my favorite here, though the others all pretty strong players as well. Sheesh in the past had some fantastic games, both in league and other tournaments, and I think one of the most stable players out there. So yeah, really strong with the British. Really good shows there. The British currently are quite strong, though maybe a tip there for his Group C opponents there to consider their bans a bit. Yeah, Aimdoozy with a lot of ladder games lately. Decent statistics there as well. Jig and AbleT kind of the same. So Group C, not as much tournament play seen out of these players lately, but I think they all should be on a similar skill level as well. With, in my eyes, Sheesh with the comeback, if Sheesh gets the practice in, being the favorite here, but the others might surprise us here as well. And then Group D being our American group here with some high level plays as well. Matrine, the second place of WARNO League Season 0 in the Division 2 back then, falling to Vulcan, then playing in the Division 1. Not the best showing there in Season 0.5, but still some strong games. Now being back in Division 2, might be able to recover that strength and go back into the finals. We will see, though the opponents here for sure quite strong this time around. Crispiest River, really strong on the ladder, with some strong showings, even holding spot number 1 for a while there at the beginning of the at the end of last season. So really strong showing there at the moment. A bit further behind again though. Not the most amazing win rate anymore, but still top 30. So still quite high up there on the ladder nonetheless. And I'm really interested to see how well he will do in the league here, as it's the first WARNO tournament that we see him in SDL. And we had Chris River in a good couple of Steel Division tournaments, but there he was never quite that high up. So seeing him in WARNO and performing a lot better there, it's going to be interesting to see how much higher it can go. Woe is me in here for the ranked ladder experience, and Rabbit Squirrel, a lot of good plays in the past, being in Division 1 in Season 0, now starting here in Division 2 as still quite high win rate. Hasn't played in Season 0.5, so putting him in Division 1 wasn't quite feasible there, but still a strong player as well. So that Group D between the Americans, yeah, it's a lot of veterans. Woe is me is the dark horse in there, and I think that might be quite interesting as well. And let's have a look over the whole division again, and yeah, let's see who could be the favorites. I think Crispiest River, it should be quite high up there. In my eyes, Proletary, really strong player as well. Really enjoyed their past tournament games. And then out of Group A, I would say Static, but we will see how good Bubblegum performs in tournaments as well. And if Static messes it up in the group stage, it might end up there quite quickly. Like his hot takes led to some defeats in the past that made him fail getting out of group stages before in Steel Division 2 leagues. He's not always playing the most standard stuff, and that can be really successful, but it also might cost him. So gonna be interesting to see how that all goes. And then, yeah, for winning, it's hard to say. I think Sheesh here in Group C, as I said, if Sheesh gets the practice in, could be quite high up there as well. Favorite in my eyes for the whole thing, maybe Crispiest River, though we'll have to see how well they perform in tournament. So Division 2, quite an interesting one as well. Yeah, chat, what are your thoughts here on Division 2? Who do you see as the top players? Who do I might have missed here to point out? Like, did I undersell Perseus maybe, for example? The leather set's looking quite nice. That's why they're in here. We had a good bit more applications than available spaces in the end. Like, I think we have 11 or 12 people now on the reserve list. So, yeah, there is a reserve list. Nice. Yeah, that Group C, I think you have decent chances of making it out, but it won't be easy. All those players quite strong, and yeah, your first opponent being Cheesh, I think that's the best point to get Cheesh, because they are just getting back into the practice. So you might have a shot there. If you win this, I think your chances are quite high. If you get a draw, that would be nice as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, Division 2 for sure. Like, I think a lot of strong players, but no clear favorites, which I really like, with a lot of high competition here for sure, though, in Division 2. And then we come to Division 1, and here we obviously have the creme de la creme, with a lot of previous champions, a lot of previous finalists and semi-finalists of events as well, and a couple of people who will have to fight hard to get through here. And we start in Group A, where we have Monkey as a super high ladder player, top 10 at the moment. But they are a bit worried because it's their first big tournament, and the group they are in should make them worried as well. As we have Team in place, Navosta and Icarus, all really strong opponents. Navosta, also known as Ixnihilio. Team in place, obviously, still the GOAT. Icarus, really high ladder performance, really strong performance in the Super Tournament as well. So, and also in the Live Love Love tournament. So Icarus, for sure, quite good at the moment as well. 3 YouTubers as well. Americans love the spotlight there. So Monkey maybe can learn something from there. Watching these 3 guys' games could give Monkey the upper hand, analyzing that. But a really strong Group A already, with Team in place, obviously the favorite, but I wouldn't put it behind Ixnihilio to get some sneaky win there with some good strategizing. And Icarus, always solid performance as well. And yeah, I'm just not quite sure what to expect out of Monkey. So it should be a quite interesting Group A here. Group B, full of veterans, both of Warno and Steel Division. We have Leifens, Wooden Box, Stahlbrecher, and Neff. Neff currently on a really high performance on the ladder. Leifens obviously with strong performances both on the ladder and especially in past tournaments. A Wooden Box, always solid, always scary. Strong YouTube presence at the moment as well, especially if you're into creating your own maps. Yeah, and Stahl, second place last season's Division 2. That's why he's here. I think has a bit of an uphill battle here, but if he gets some good maps and he can get his playstyle through, he's always quite scary as well. Might need some practice here to really get it up with these guys. I think he has the hardest spot in this group, but I wouldn't put it beyond him to get some maps of the others. And I think that's, like, for Stahl, getting into playoffs, somewhat unlikely, but maybe can make it so that one of the other guys gets relegated and ruin their parade a bit, getting a couple of draws, maybe even getting a victory, though it will be hard in this group. Like, this group is a really, really strong one, for sure. But it doesn't really get weaker. Like, Division 1 is just full of fantastic players. And Group C, we have ProComi as the winner of the Super Tournament. Mix 90 coming along as well. Forward, really high ladder performance, quite strong performance in previous tournaments as well. And yeah, Mix 90, obviously finalist of the season 0.5. So that should be quite interesting as well. And then we have the old man. We have Fury Tanner coming in as well once more, and oh boy, his artillery play scary as ever. Always has a good strategy as well. Never easy to beat. So Mix 90 and ProComi for sure will have a tough nut to crack there. I would still put those two as the favorites in this group, but Tanner could make an upset against both. And yeah, all four players here. Like, I haven't seen super much of Forward lately, but what we saw in the past always was pretty strong as well. And it's really hard to say without seeing more games here. Mix 90, obviously not the greatest performance in the last league finals, but up till there, absolutely stellar performance. Really strong runs in previous tournaments and other tournaments as well, and always scary on the ladder too. And ProComi, just such a strong show in the Super Tournament. So we will see how that goes. And then Group D, our more Eastern group here, with Dark Neutron and Berthex. It's Dark Neutron with some strong runs in previous tournaments as well. And Yukipor, second place in the Super Tournament here. So Group D, nothing to sneeze at either. Bottom feeder, aka Guard X-Rams, being in here as well as a player that has become better and better and better over the last couple of months as well. And finally here now in Division 1. And I think if Dark Neutron gets the practice in, him and Yukipor should win this group. Berthex with a good amount of practice lately, though a lot of AoE 4 as well. So that should be quite interesting as well. So this is a really, really interesting group D2, with bottom feeder being a quite scary opponent as well. And yeah, Berthex might have to step it up here a bit, because these three opponents are really good. Dark Neutron has a pretty good record against Berthex, obviously. They will be off in Group E quite often. Yeah, Yukipor being in East Asia as well, at least finding a playable time to play their group stage games should be quite solvable for these players, as three of them are pretty far east. The Guard at least is a GMT +2, so it should be or +3, so it should be a bit easier for them as well to find games here, and that will be a quite interesting Group D for sure. As I said, I think Dark Neutron and Yukipor the favorites here, but not a clean cut either. So yeah, who do you think will take it this time? And obviously, I think Team and Play is still the favorite, but who might be the challengers here? And even for Team, I don't think it will be an easy group stage. Like, I think every group has like at least 3 players that have good chances of making it off. Some of them just being quite all-out brawls. So Division 1 should be quite interesting here. Badger, I didn't get your sign up. I pinged people multiple times to tell them that if you haven't received a WARNO League ping, you should sign up again. But yeah, I didn't get your sign up. There was no Badger Jelly sign up in the event. Or did you message me telling me that you can't play? That might have been it as well. Didn't you have issues with playing WARNO? No. I think I just didn't get your sign up. Yeah. I didn't get Farid to sign up at first either. Like that's why I pinged people this time multiple times and before, telling them to check if they are in the league group and they have the role, so that people can sign up if something went wrong with the first sign up. But yeah, sorry. By now we have a lot of signups for limited amount of space, but I think 64 is a good number. Keeps it under check, and getting to 64 was relatively easy, though the last couple of days especially were a rush on the spots. And yeah, I think for some of the reserve, like for top spots on the reserve list, it will be somewhat feasible to get in as well, because usually with 64, realistically 1 or 2 players will drop out because life gets in the way. It's all people playing in their pastime, and sometimes events just happen that force you to resign your spot. But we have enough reserve players to get that covered as well, and the league will go smooth. I'm pretty optimistic. Previous WARNO League seasons have been the most smooth events that we have run so far on the players' ends, which is WARNO League players and in general WARNO tournament players so far always have been a blast to work with. Like, never had any issues getting the games organized and so on, both for the one-day events and the longer events. So once more, big shout out there to all the players, and I'm pretty optimistic that it will be the same this time again. For all the new players, I will do a quick guide video later today to let you all know how the system works once more, for all the people who are not quite clear about how to set up games and so on. I will make a quick guide video and explain it all to you once more in a bit more detail there. WARNO League Season 1, really hyped. The group, the map pool will be, I will have to redo this for this year. It will be all the duelist map. So 6 maps there with 4 bands on maps, and then the other 2 being played. Should be quite interesting. Classic pick and ban system. Players play a best of 2, so there can be draws in the group stage. Players playing a best of 2 there in the group stage, and then the playoff stage, top 8 advancing, going into a best of 3s here, and then best of 5s further on in the tournament, which will be really epic. Finals should be around the 20th and 21st of July, with 1 game played each week beforehand. So and yeah, Division 4 really should be interesting this time around as well. Like, I think we have a lot of cool new names here, really a lot of motivated players. So I'm absolutely hyped for WARNO League season 1 here, and can't wait. Hopefully we will get a hotfix relatively soon. It's worked upon, and yeah, Eugen should have that ready soon. Hopefully maybe even next week, and then the game should be in a really good state. Like, I think it's in a pretty decent state already at the moment, just a bit too strong on the defense, thanks to ATGMs and co. But we are having one of the most versatile metas still when it comes to divisions played. Like, the Super Tournament had a lot of the divisions being picked all across the boards, especially with picks and bans. Like, you can make the most OP divisions on the sub maps go away, and then the matches have been fantastic so far. So we're looking forward to see how it all goes and plays out in the over the season. And yeah, Division 1, really hyped to see who will get through. I think we will see some upsets here. For example, absolutely could see Neff both beating Wooden Box and Lavens, and that's not really an upset if you know Neff for his Division 2 plays. But obviously, like, looking at it from a one-ups perspective, Wooden Box and Lavens first look like the top players here, but Neff has been active in Strike Team, has been active on the ladder, and I think is in really, really good shape at the moment, so it won't be easy for either there. Group C, yeah, Tanner can upset against everybody, could just go 0-4 as well. Like, you never quite know with Tanner. Always strong games, but they always feel close, and they couldn't go either way. Really hyped for that. Always love to cast that guy's games. And yeah, down here, Yuki Por, really strong showing lately, both on the ladder and the tournament. But I think Burfax has some solid strategies as well, and Dark Neutron always coming in with some hot playstyles as well. Not quite as meta at the moment, which could cost him though. And yeah, Bottom Feeder, I think has constantly climbed up. I'm not sure if it's his time to shine yet, but it might be. So all these groups, I'm really hyped for. Division 2, once more, I think is full of high-level players as well that are all somewhat close together as well in the skill level. So yeah, Medi, Joker, all could come in here. Every group here with chances for people to fall and stumble, but also maybe start their rise to fame here with 3-0 victories. Division 3 is full of veteran players that are starting to maybe get their tournament career here going. And then Division 4, all the new players, super hyped to see that, how they will start to improve over the upcoming seasons. And yeah, quite hyped. Quite hyped for all of this. Yeah, these are the groups. As I said, I will do that intro video for all of you who are new and a bit worried and a bit overwhelmed by all the rules. I will make an explanation video there and share that with all the league players later. And yeah, but that's it. Let's get into playing, because I think the next couple of weeks I won't have much time to play WARNO. Also, just saw this. Pretty hyped for this, guys. Civ 7 finally coming around, coming out next year, so it will be good in 2 years or 3 years time. But yeah, let's let's play a bit of WARNO, because in the upcoming weeks we won't have much time. Quick break, and then we jump into WARNO, because the upcoming weeks will just be full of casting. I'm gonna restart the stream real quick. So